Colossians 1:4 continues Paul's thanksgiving for the Colossian Christians and is going to introduce to us another important adverbial participle. Eucharistumen is coming from verse 3, and we'll need it to make sense of verse 4. Akousantes, tein piston humon, en Christo Iesu, kai, tein agapein, hein ekete, eis pantas tous hagius. So we're giving thanks, hearing the faith of you all, so your all's faith. What is that faith? Well, it's the faith that's in Christ Jesus. And, so you notice here that you have a double direct object. Hearing their faith and hearing their love. So it's the love, relative pronoun, which you have. And my kind of default translation of ace when into doesn't work is just to say with reference to. And then I'll figure out some nicer way to say it in English. But the love which you have with reference to all the saints. So it'd be which you have for all the saints. So here's this adverbial participle. Just using ing doesn't make sense. We give thanks hearing. Well, it could be temporal, like we saw in verse 3, when they hear. But there's another use of the participle. It's called the causal participle. It's the key word of because. So we are giving thanks because we, and you'll notice it's an aorist, so because we have heard, and that makes the best sense in the context. So we're giving thanks because we have heard of your all's faith that you have in Christ Jesus, and we've also heard about the love. What love was that? Which you have for all the saints. So in terms of phrasing, because we've heard of the faith of you all, the faith that's in Christ Jesus, and because they have heard of the love, relative clauses always go on their own line, which you have for all the saints. And because I put Eucharistumen in here, it's easier to see the connection that is telling you something relative to the giving thanks. You're giving thanks because. Prepositional phrase is going to go under the faith. But you'll notice that we have two direct objects of akousantes, don't you? So I'm going to go back up here and add in a tab. And I'm going to have to move that over a little bit. Now there's room for the conjunction for the double direct object, and that kind of gets in the way, so I'm going to push it even further. So they've heard of the faith, and they've heard of the love, and I'm going to run out of screen space here, so I'm going to put an extra line in and pull this over someplace, and then draw the line between the relative pronoun and its antecedent. And maybe to emphasize that you would want to underline the two direct objects. But we got them parallel here, so that works out pretty good. So Paul's giving thanks. Why? Because they've heard. So you notice that the nominative plural is going back to the subject of the verb, which is we. So it's because we have heard of two things. We've heard of your faith, the faith that you have in Christ Jesus, and because we've heard of the love, and you could view the tein as the possessive pronoun, your love, but you have the you down in the ekete, so that's probably not essential. So the love which you all have for all the saints.